First, please welcome our host this morning, Rav Eitan Tokayer, the Rav of Kingsway Jewish Center, who will deliver Divrei Bracha.
Good morning. I'd like to direct my remarks this morning primarily towards our guests who are here, those elected officials and those representatives working in the public sphere. The JCC of Marine Park reflects not only the best of Jewish tradition of Avas Yisrael and Avas Chesed, love of our community and the love of doing acts of kindness and charity, but actually also reflects the best of American tradition. Fact of the matter is that no nation has been more profoundly influenced by the Torah than the United States of America. Many American early statesmen and educators were actually schooled in Torah, both the written Torah, Torah B'chsav, and Torah Sheba'al Peh as well. Second president of the United States, John Adams, and he had this to say of the Jewish people in his day and age. And he said the following: the Jews have done more to civilize men than any other nation. They are the most glorious nation that ever inhabited the earth. The Romans and their empire would but bauble in comparison to the Jews. They have given religion to 3/4 of the globe and have influenced the affairs of mankind, and more happily than any other nation, ancient or modern. So the Jewish citizenry of the United States not only reflects the best of Jewish tradition, but also the best of American tradition. The curriculum at Harvard University in its founding, like those of other very early American colleges, was designed by Christians who were heavily schooled in the Torah, what they called the Old Testament. The Harvard president in 1685, a fellow by the name of Increase Mathers, was an ardent Hebraist. In fact, his writings contain many quotations, not only from the Bible, but also from the works of the Talmud, the Gemara, Saadia Gaon, Rashi, the Rambam, and others. And finally, I would point out that George Washington himself noted that in the First Amendment to our Constitution, we write that the Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion. And this clause is now misunderstood. It was intended not to prevent religion in the United States, but rather to prohibit Congress from establishing a state of national religion. And in his farewell remarks to the country, George Washington wrote the following: "Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. Whatever may be conceded to the influence of refined education, reason, and experience, both forbid us to expect that national morality can prevail to the exclusion of religious principle." It strikes me that the foundational principles of this country were based on Jewish principles, on Torah principles, and the foundational figures of this country were actually religious men, both schooled in their own religious theology, but well grounded from their perspective in Hebraic culture, in Torah, and even what we call the oral Torah, Torah Sheba'al Peh. So it seems to me that the fact of the JCC of Marine Park exists, it exists on two counts. Number one, it exists to support members of its own community in the great spirit, as I said, of Avas Yisrael and Avas Chesed, doing good works for the community and doing good works of charity. But in addition to being a great reflection of the Jewish tradition, it is also a great reflection of the American civic tradition, which itself is founded upon Jewish tradition. So my bracha to the JCC of Marine Park is I should go mechayel el chayel and continue to do wonderful things for those in need, for our community, and for the community at large. Thank you.
Our first honoree this morning is a Rav who has joined the community here in Marine Park. He's our newest member in our newest shul here, Rabbi Tzvi Twersky, the Rav of the Makariv Shtibel of Marine Park. Please welcome Rabbi Tzvi Twersky.
Just not going to make any major speeches, just give a couple of quick thank yous. First of all, to Shia for honoring me with this award that I certainly don't deserve. Just came to the community very recently. Appreciate it greatly. May Hashem bless you that you should continue to have success and continue to do for the community such wonderful projects such as Project Machal that helps feed the needy and all those other endeavors. I'd like to thank also the Rabbanim for giving me a warm welcome, welcoming me to the neighborhood. Thank all the friends that came here to honor me tonight, and thank the whole community at large. I appreciate it greatly. I'd also like to thank the representatives who came today and continue to represent the community selflessly. Remember, not too long ago, just a couple of years ago, I was here at the podium in the Kingsway at a Jewish war vets meeting. The annual meeting was, once again, it seems to be that the Kingsway is the home for where community and country seem to come together, and religion. And I just want to express my gratitude again to everyone here. Thank you very much.
To present our next award is Assistant Chief Thomas Chan, the Commanding Officer of the Patrol Bureau, Brooklyn South.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to join the JCC and all the honorees today. We thank you for setting up this wonderful event, and we have this opportunity to recognize some very important people in our community. It's a pleasure to be here amongst our esteemed honorees today, distinguished guests, and those responsible for today, especially the board of the JCC of Marine Park, as well as Shay Rubenstein. In just a short time, as the commanding officer of the 63rd Precinct, Captain John Rao has proven himself to be quite a valuable asset to the borough of Brooklyn South. Being in command of a precinct with such a continual growth and diversity is no simple task. Yet Captain Rao persistently demonstrates success at this undertaking with the knowledge and his success as experience and his demeanor. He's established himself by providing a level of guidance and leadership which has earned him the dignity and the respect of both his colleagues and the community he serves. This is evidenced by the events as today. Today we honor Captain John Rao for his service, dedication to the safety and the well-being of the community. Captain Rao is a fine example of not just a commander within the New York City Police Department, but also as a leader within the community he protects. He has served the citizens of Brooklyn South with distinction, and now it is my privilege to introduce Captain John Rao, the commanding officer of the 63rd Precinct.
We'll take the photo and then you'll speak. Jeff. This way? Oh, I'm sorry. Here. It's all yours.
Thank you, Chief Chan. I'm grateful for all your help, Chief, and honored that you have presented me with this recognition today. Thank you, sir. I also wanted to thank Inspector Scholl and Yitzi Jablonski from the borough for coming out today. I appreciate your support. Thank you, boss. Good morning, everyone. I'm truly honored today and want to wish congratulations and mazel tov to all my fellow honorees. By the time you graduate the police academy, you are ingrained with how important your partner is. Your partner can be more or less experienced than you, or even a peer. But one thing is for certain, your partner is critical in your survival, growth, and accomplishments. A part of who you will become, how you will act, what you will do, and what you will accomplish. Simply put, two are better than one. However, as you get promoted and move up the ladder, your responsibilities change. Instead of being on a B car, or you're at times behind a desk. you stop for a second and ask, who is my partner now? Who will help me succeed? Who can I count on? And if you're really lucky, you'll have a partner to help you handle each of your critical responsibilities. I am fortunate to have great and wonderful partners in my life, some of whom are here today. And I wanted to personally acknowledge them today and express my sincerest appreciation. To the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park, thank you for this special award and for being the coordinating partner for so many good things at the programs that happen in our neighborhood. Our community, my partners as well, are very fortunate to have you, and I'm honored for being recognized by you today. I look forward to continuing our outstanding working relationship. To the rabbis of Marine Park, your leadership and unity is inspirational. I am honored to be in your midst and work alongside you. You truly are engaged in the work of God and sanctify His name with your actions and interactions. May God bless you with your strength and determination to continue your holy work. To my partner, Abe Brown, who is also being honored here today. Where are you, Abe? That's my boy right there. Abe's a dedicated and great Jewish community liaison for the 63rd Precinct. Abe, your selfish actions on behalf of your community is remarkable. You have shown me how a community is really one big family, and your efforts and work reflect that feeling. If not for you, I would not be standing here today enjoying my great relationship with the Jewish community. Thank you so much. To the men and women of the 63rd Precinct, I know a few of you are out here today. A CO is only as good as his officers. You have shown everyone that it is what it is to be caring, concerned, and involved in keeping the community safe. I am extremely proud of your work and thank you all for making me look so good. Of course, to my ultimate partner, my wife Jen, who is here with me today. Thanks for all your support and patience. It's not easy being a cop, and it's even harder to be the wife of one. But no matter what, I know when I come home, I'm at the safest place on earth. I share this honor with you. Thank you all again. Appreciate it.
Our next honoree needs no introduction. He is the one person who has single-handedly responsible for keeping our streets safe in this city, in this county, for the last 20 years. He's our district attorney. He's won every election with resounding numbers, and this year he's going to win again with the same numbers. Our district attorney, Charles Joe Hines.
Thank you. Did you say honoree? Oh, that's a surprise, it really was. It was a great surprise. Thank you so much. And then it's great to be with some wonderful people, this great young captain and of course, Willie Raffogel, and with so many of you folks. I want to mention that Shia Rubenstein every year sings at our Hanukkah party. So I congratulate him and Yossi Schaaf and David Newman and Dr. Susskind. And of course, Kalman, I want to thank you for those kind remarks. I have a close affinity with folks who are involved in social services, like the JCC of Marine Park, and like Willie Raffogel. I guess I've been criticized a number of times for different reasons. One of the times I'm criticized, I'm too much of a social worker. I'm proud to be a social worker. I'm proud that I was the first district attorney in this country to do something about the evil of drugs and the evil about sending people to jail because of their addiction. I was the first DA in this country to start a domestic violence bureau, the first to start a reentry program for the formerly incarcerated, the first to start a mental health court and a veterans court. So I am absolutely committed to the kinds of things that you all do, and that's why I have such tremendous respect for the JCC of Marine Park. It's very, very good to be with you. Thank you so much. And Hannah, I'm angry with you. You didn't warn me about this being an honor. Thank you so much. Good.
To present our next award, please welcome New York Police Department Inspector Charles Scholl and our own Assemblyman Alan Maisel. And Alan, I just want to take a few seconds of MC prerogative. Assemblyman Alan Maisel, who has served our community for so many years, is embarking on a new expedition, if you will. This year he's running for the city council, to fill very large shoes, literally and figuratively. So this time next year, when you see Alan Maisel, he's going to be our councilman, Alan Maisel. Please welcome them both.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here again. It's actually a pleasure to be anywhere at my age. When I ran for the Assembly about 7 years ago, I told people I could not fit into my predecessor's shoes, but I was working on his suits. And I want you to know, in the 7 years I've fulfilled that obligation. I've caught up to my predecessor, Frank Sedio, and now I have bigger shoes to fill, and I won't be able to do that, but Lou Fiddler has very, very big suits. So that's my next challenge. In any event, I'll have the great pleasure to be the introducers of the next awardee.
Thank you, Assemblyman. The New York City Police Department has experienced a dramatic decrease in crime for the past decade, and that was through the hard work of the police officers, the great district attorney we have in Brooklyn, the elected officials. But that wouldn't be possible, that crime reduction, without the efforts of the community and the partnership we formed. Today's honoree of Rami Brown typifies that. He gets the word to us when there's a problem, and there are problems, and he gets the word to the community when things are good. And that's why we fostered a great relationship in the 63rd Precinct and in Brooklyn South under Chief Chan. So it's a great pleasure to bring up Rami Brown from the 63rd Precinct.
Boy, I'm glad you did that. Congratulations.
Good. Good morning. Thank you, Inspector Scholl and Assemblyman Maisel, for that kind introduction. Thank you all for coming today. Your presence and support is very meaningful and truly for a good cause. Not honoring me, but recognizing the JCC of Marine Park and all it does for the community. Firstly, I want to acknowledge the presence of the elected officials here today. Your service and presence is greatly appreciated. I want to thank the JCC of Marine Park for presenting me with this special honor. It is a privilege to be associated with you, and I look forward to continue to invest in and enhance our community together for many years to come. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our community rabbis here today and all their work on behalf of our community. We are very blessed to have such a distinguished panel of rabbanim who not only excel in building and ministering a community, but work so beautifully together for the greater good. They are truly a shining example for individuals, communities, and other rabbanim. On a personal note, I want to extend a special hakaras hatov to Rabbi and Rebbetzin Rokeach for all they have done and do for me and my family. I also want to acknowledge to all my family and friends who are here this morning. I know it wasn't easy and appreciate your efforts on my behalf. Your support is very meaningful, and I am truly honored by your presence. No community event is complete or doable without the presence of New York's finest. And this breakfast is no exception. So I want to recognize the presence of so many men and women in blue and express my appreciation, especially for Chief Thomas Chan, whose command covers Marine Park and all of Brooklyn South. Our community understands the amount and quality of work that we benefit from and knows it's a product of Chief Chan's dedication. There aren't words to truly express our appreciation, so please settle for a simple thank you. Of course, I want to extend my sincerest congratulations and best wishes to my fellow honorees. I am honored to share this morning with you, and thank you for all you have done. I especially want to acknowledge Captain John Rowell, who has done so much for us in such a short time. Captain, your commitment, ethics, professionalism, and results are truly inspirational and greatly appreciated. Any community or command would be lucky to have you at their helm and fortunate if your standards became the standard. I personally want to thank you for being such a pleasure to work alongside and for being such a fine leader, role model, and friend. Please remember my thoughts today and don't forget me when you make chief. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank my wonderful wife, Adi, and great kids, Eliza, Yaakov, Yehuda, Yaakov, and Zevi. I couldn't do what I do without your support. You constantly encourage me and motivate me and definitely share this honor with me. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Wow.
Everybody to the left.
Just move over a little bit.
One step, everybody, one step. That's it.
The JCC was founded 5 years ago to bring a voice to a growing and vibrant community in Marine Park. Today, that community has expanded beyond any imagination of what it could possibly have become. And if you could just focus the next few minutes on this short video presentation about the work of the JCC and tirelessly serve our community every day in our government, in the halls of our government. They represent, I promise you this will end very, very quickly. They represent their bosses to our community, and they represent our community's interests to their bosses. Please welcome Chaim Deutsch, an aide to Councilman Mike Nelson, Barry Spitzer, an aide to Councilman David Greenfield, Jake Adler, an aide to Councilman David Greenfield, and Penny Ringel, an aide to Public Advocate Bill de Blasio. And presenting these 4 awards, please welcome Rav Tzvi Melech Rokeach from the Rav of Congregation Based Mordechai here in Marine Park.
Where's the awards? Oh, okay. Where's Luke?
Barry, and the honor of
Okay, how do we close this? Everyone to the back, under the sign, spread out. There you go. Thank you.
Good morning. I want to thank Shia Rubenstein from the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park. Thank you for an unbelievable job. And I have to say that when it comes to a Jewish Community Council, there's no competition between the JCC and Marine Park and the Council of Jewish Organizations of Flatbush. The only thing I can see that they are competing with is the breakfast. We'll have to see how Kojo's breakfast will look like next Sunday. So anyhow, I'd like to thank the whole board of the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park, and thank you for this honoree. It's really appreciated. Thank you.
We're moving this along as quickly as possible. The work of the Jewish Community Council would not be possible without the support of our elected officials, and I just want to recognize some of them who are here today and some other dignitaries who have joined us. First of all, the JCC sister organizations, Kojo Flatbush is represented here by Rabbi Yecheskel Pickis, the executive director. The Borough Park Jewish Community Council is represented here by Rabbi Yerucham Silver, the executive director. Please welcome them both. The Jewish Community Relations Council of New York is represented here by Michael Miller. Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty is represented here by its executive director, Willie Rapfogel, who you'll be hearing from soon. And Investor Savings Bank, which serves our community and is here today represented, and we're very grateful for their support. Ari Kagan, a district leader. Judge Noach Dier is here. Please welcome him. Congresswoman Yvette Clark, Councilman Matthew Eugene, Senator Eric Adams, Assemblywoman Helene Weinstein, who you'll be hearing from soon, Controller John Liu, and please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Councilwoman Tish James, to bring us very brief greetings this morning.
Good morning, Marine Park JCC. I bring you greetings from JCC of Crown Heights. I understand that Rabbi Cohen is in the room. I represent the JCC of Crown Heights. And to all of the honorees, congratulations. Let us keep in our prayers the young couple from Williamsburg that lost their life last night as a result of a hit and run. A young couple from Williamsburg that left behind a child that now will have to be adopted. So let us all continue to pray for them. Again, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for thinking about others before you think about yourselves. May you continue to do the grace and the work of God. Thank you.
John Liu. Please welcome New York City Controller John Liu for a few quick words.
Good morning, everybody. It's a real privilege to be with the JCC of Marine Park. It's a wonderful gathering that we have here today at the second annual legislative breakfast. There are lots of issues to talk about, and obviously people are talking about the issues. But nonetheless, these have been trying times, these last few years, possibly the worst recession since the Great Depression. It makes the work of the Marine Park JCC all the more important and critical for the families that this organization serves here in Brooklyn and throughout. So I want to say thank you to the Marine Park JCC. Congratulations to all the honorees, especially to Eli Slavin, who showed me the prime real estate on the Western Wall in Israel when we went there together, along with Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. And also a wonderful congratulations to my dear friend Joel Eisdorfer. Keep up the great work, Marine JCC, as my grandmother in Taiwan used to say, better, bigger, and better things to come. Chazak ve'amatz.
Please welcome our next speaker, the Executive Director of Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty, Willie Rathfogel.
Thank you very much, Kalman. And I appreciate the brief introduction. Give me more time. Mora Verabosai, leadership of the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park. I'm honored to be your keynote speaker, although I'm going to try to make it closer to greetings than keynoting because of the fact that we want you to be home for lunch and not here for lunch. Not that long ago, in fact, just a couple of months ago, we were all contending with the crisis that was Hurricane or Superstorm Sandy. All of us thought that what only happens in Japan or Indonesia, maybe in New Orleans or Kansas, happened here. That storm struck with a fury that none of us could fully anticipate, no matter how many warnings we got. I know from my organization's point of view, we were actually wrapped around the development of a special project that we were building 188 units of affordable assisted living housing in Staten Island and 80 units of low-income senior housing in the Bronx. And getting ready, because you're always getting ready for Pesach, our food distributions, which we work with the JCC of Marine Park and the 25 other Jewish community councils around the city, gives out food to 50,000 households before Pesach. But all that our heads were swirling about came to an end when we began to have to deal with the hurricane. At the same time, there was a release of a UJA study that said that the Jewish community, while there was 1,085,000 Jews living in New York City, 333,000 of them were living at or below the poverty level. Another 175,000 were working poor or living in near poverty. That's half the Jewish community of New York. And yesterday we read about the half shekel to count and do a census of the Jewish community. The census, our census of the Jewish community, has to be and is something that the JCC of Marine Park is committed to. How can we lift those who are in poverty, those who are near poverty, out of poverty? But again, for most of November through January, we were dominated by the aftermath of October 29th and Superstorm Sandy. Thousands of New York households, including many, many Jewish families who were never included among the numbers of poor or working poor in the Jewish community, suddenly became needy because they were living in Zone A or nearby. and they became the neediest Jewish population. While I'm not going to review everything that we, together with our network of Jewish community councils, did during this particular time of crisis, we have since then given out over $3 million to many thousands of individuals and families who were impacted by the crisis. 270,000 pounds of non-perishable food was given out through the network of Jewish community councils in the areas affected by the storm. And in the first 2 weeks during this time, 85,000 hot meals were provided for people who had to eat in congregate settings because they couldn't get food. We've sent out 30 caseworkers to the impacted communities to help people with their applications and dealing with their crises. Generators, laptops, security patrols, and other supports were provided to many of these communities. Now, as we help the newly needy, we're also back to helping those who needed us before October 28th, as well as the new families in crisis. Meanwhile, New York City, New York State are facing budget deficits. The sequester is going to have impact on the city and state budgets, even as we begin to get a sense of what the state plan is and how to spend the aid that we are getting from Hurricane Sandy. Just a few weeks ago, we read in Parshas Vayigash about Joseph, or Yosef's, revelation to his brothers. As he saw what was going on when they had come to Egypt. Remember, they sold him into slavery. They then needed food and had to come to Egypt because he had prepared, by interpreting the Pharaoh's dreams, had prepared their communities, their region for the famine. And so after some game playing between them, he reveals himself to them. He says, Ki l'michya shalachanu Elokim lefnechem. It was to preserve life that God had sent me here before you. To preserve life, not just Jewish life, to preserve life. The Jewish Community Council of Marine Park is here to preserve life. It's here to improve the quality of life of people living in New York City, people living in this community, and not only the Jewish community. But we also have to look inward sometimes, and we have to look inward at the broader New York City Jewish community and recognize that all elements of the Jewish community across previously imagined or real lines need to be involved in the development of a real metropolitan area community emergency management disaster preparedness structure that brings together all the organizations that did incredible and wonderful work during and after Hurricane Sandy. But we need to do it in a more organized way and work with the government in a more organized way. We have to look at and do a comprehensive review of our own infrastructure, supplies from food to generators to gasoline to special needs populations. We have to catalog first responders, the communication systems, and more. We need to figure out just what role electricians, plumbers, contractors, food store owners, and so on can play in times of crisis. We must be very forward-thinking about hospitals, yeshivas, shuls, mikvahs, and the supplies that could be conceivably needed. And God forbid, if we have to, we should be prepared to turn a school into a hospital. Most of all, we have to learn to collaborate better. A great Hasidic sage said many years ago in a letter that he wrote to another rabbi, "Let us be like the lines that lead to the center of a circle, uniting there, and not like parallel lines that never join." So many in our community move forward with inspiration and ideas. For them, a day is every one of 24 hours and an opportunity to make things happen and to make a difference. They cannot live their lives any other way. They do it because they believe that this is the way that God-fearing Jewish people should behave. They give tzedakah because it's compulsory, not like charity, which is voluntary. And that is true social justice. And it's not just money, but their time, dedication, and commitment. And one must give it with a full heart. Those are your honorees here today. Those are the people that you are paying tribute. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, the chief rabbi of Great Britain, recently wrote, "Poverty and need humiliates and robs people of dignity. It makes them dependent on others, depriving them of independence, which the Torah teaches is essential for self-respect. Every day, we must do more, we must do more, we can do more, and make more people whole. My mother, may she rest in peace, taught me, and I urge everyone to try this. At least once a week, in addition to all the other acts of kindness you do one totally unpredictable act of chesed, which is loving kindness. Something out of the box that you surprise not only the recipient, but you surprise yourself by doing. Let's think of that police officer who bought boots and socks for the homeless man and demonstrated what loving kindness can truly be. None of us has the right to a good night's sleep when an 85-year-old woman or a 5-year-old child goes to bed without a nutritious meal in a cold apartment. We are told that crisis is a terrible thing to waste, but this crisis is a reminder that there are people all around us who are in crisis every day. It's a reminder that Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lazeh, that each and every one of us has a deep and abiding responsibility for one another, and let's remember that every single day. Thank you very much.
Please welcome Assemblywoman Helene Weinstein to present our next award to Yehuda Schupper.
Good morning, everybody. It's really a pleasure to be here at JCC of Marine Park's legislative breakfast. I work closely with Shia, the Marine Park JCC, and so many of my constituents who live within the borders. It's hard to believe that it's just 5 short years ago that the JCC of Marine Park formed, and the good works have really surpassed the 5 years of existence. And it's a pleasure that I just found out a few moments ago to present an award to a young man who clearly deserves it, even if he wasn't my director of communication. Yehuda Schupper is someone who's well known in our community. He came to our neighborhood, he came to my office from after getting trained by Rabbi Niederman in Williamsburg, and he has not only served me well, but serves our community well. He is involved in so much of the religious and civic life of our neighborhood and has assisted so many in our community in their time of need. And he's here with his family, his wife Dina, his daughters Malki and Nama, hi, and his dad and his parents who come from a long line of community service and public services. My pleasure to invite up Yehuda Schupper to receive this award.
Thank you very much. I just want to take a few moments to say a few words. I'll keep it very, very brief. I just want to thank my family, especially my wife Dina, for being very supportive of my schedule sometimes. It calls me out of the house late at night sometimes, and I really appreciate everything you've done for me these past 7.5 years. I want to thank our esteemed Assemblywoman Helene Weinstein, who just by virtue of putting her name behind organizations like the JCC of Marine Park lend credibility to the cause and prompt her colleagues as well in city, state, and federal government to do the same. For the past 7.5 years, I've met countless individuals who sacrifice their time, their energy, and their money to make the community business their business, and they don't get thanked often. Whether you call them askanim, you call them volunteers, you call them good Samaritans, philanthropists, by doing what they do, they make my job and the job of the Assemblywoman easier. So I accept this award on the behalf of all of the people who do what I do, but don't get paid, and hope that they continue to do it until, Emir Tashem, we don't need it anymore. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just like to recognize that our friend Councilman Jamani Williams represents this area, is here today, and he's making his way through. You can recognize him. He's the good-looking guy. And for a quick few minutes, quick few seconds, because he has to run, and I understand that. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, shh. I'm trying to move this as fast as possible, but please give your attention to Borough President Scott Stringer, the next controller of New York. I can say that because I don't work for the organization.
Thank you very much. I've always admired your intelligence and your way of thinking out of the box, but I just wanted to come by today and just give greetings to all of you. Many of you I've gotten to know over the years, my colleagues in government, the people who really care about all of our communities. And this third annual legislative breakfast, I think, is significant because you're attracting elected officials from all over the city, and that's a tribute to your work and your influence, and I hope to get to know all of you even more deeply, with more passion, in the years ahead. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. God bless. I look forward to getting to know you. Thank you.
Please welcome, to present the next award, my old friend, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, who represents our area. She's here today, and she's going to present the award to Ellie Slavin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies, Kalman Yeager. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park and your leader, outstanding leader Shea, for inviting me to the third annual legislative breakfast. I also want to recognize all of my elected colleagues here present, as well as our keynote speaker, Mr. Willie Wapfogel, CEO of the Metropolitan Council on Jewish Poverty. I'd like to acknowledge Master of Ceremonies Kalman Yeager and Rabbi Eitan Tokoya for delivering the invocation. The efforts of the JCC of Marine Park to organize people as volunteers, helping their neighbors, and as registered voters have greatly contributed to the quality of life for the residents of the community of Marine Park. The many people you have assisted, immigrants who want to start their pursuit of the American dream, homeowners who want to avoid foreclosure in their mortgages, families who need help buying groceries. Know that your efforts are valued and your contributions are extraordinary. And more important, your concern for your neighbors is admirable. Today, we are honoring several individuals who have demonstrated this type of concern for the people in every community in the borough of Brooklyn. Rabbi Tversky, my colleague, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, the Honorable Frank Sedio, Captain John Rowell of the 63rd Precinct, Rabbi Joel Eisdorfer, Avrami Brown, Yehuda Schupper, Chaim Deutsch, Barry Spitzer, Jake Adler, and Penny Ringel. I also must take this opportunity, and it's my honor and my privilege, to congratulate and to present to someone who I care for deeply, a man who has worked in my office as a community liaison since I entered the House of Representatives in the year 2007. He has been an ever-present personality throughout the Jewish communities of Brooklyn. We have traveled to Israel together, and he has been of great counsel to me and a great resource and support of the people of the 9th Congressional District. He has been a leader in the Chabad Lubavitch community for several decades, and he has worked on programs for young men and women and with the Mos Chittim Fund. He has been a dedicated husband to his wife Esther, a proud parent and grandparent, and a devoted son to his beautiful mother, who is present with us this morning. Ellie Slavin. Ellie Slavin. Ellie Slavin is an extraordinary man who has given much to many, and I'm very proud to present to him on behalf of the JCC of Marine Park this wonderful Congressional Service Award. Would you please join me here, Ellie? Eli, you are an extraordinary man. You have done wonderful things for our community. We are extremely proud to present this to you. And it is not to tell you that you've made it. It's to tell you that you've got much more work to be done. And we appreciate all of your hard work and efforts thus far. Mazel tov.
Willie said I have the 20 minutes that he cut his speech short, but I'll be 20 seconds. First of all, thank you very much for this honor. Thank you, my friends and neighbors who came out to see us. I want to thank my mom who's here, Mrs. Slavin, my wife Esther. But I have 30 years on Mr. Schuper. We just celebrated our 37th anniversary. As one of the police officers said before, that a company is as good as its CEO, so is our office. It's an honor and a pleasure working for Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. I've been introduced to the Congresswoman by Chanina Sperlin, well-known icon in the neighborhood. I also want to just express my thanks to 3 people who've really helped me and guided me. Cheskel Bennett, Leanne Goldenberg, and last but not least, Shul Rubenstein, have been really guys who guided me and taught me many, many important aspects to look out for in the community. Again, thank you very much for your time and for coming out here. And mazel tov to all the other honorees who were recognized for their work over here. Last but not least, I want to again thank the Congresswoman for giving me the opportunity to be able to be by her side and try to assist in even as small as it is, but it's assisting. I also want to recognize my colleague, Patrick Ream, who's here with us today. And again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good morning. This is really an easy award to give because Yoli is not my employee. Yoli is my brother. And I knew his dad, who introduced me to his son. His dad is no longer with us. He made the transformation from the physical to the spiritual, but you always feel his presence. And you see the beauty of Yoli and the family and what they mean to me. When I first ran for office, and I didn't know many people in this community, Yoli took me by the hand and walked me from block to block, organization to organization. And I've come to understand and realize that within the DNA of this community is the need to give back. Is the need to be in a place to provide for other people and always extend the hand and help individuals. And I see that in Yoli, and I'm proud to say that our relationship would only continue to grow as we leave the confines of the 20th Senatorial District and start our roll on to Borough Hall. I'm going to be there with my brother Yoli to the beginning until we always will be together. Yoli, please come up.
Good morning, everybody. Okay. I would like to thank the JCC of Marine Park for the wonderful work that you do on behalf of the entire Jewish community. I would also like to thank all my friends, family that have come in my support on this early Sunday morning. I'd also like to acknowledge my fellow honorees who so richly deserve their awards. This award that I receive here today is in many ways due to the close friendship and dedication of my friend Senator, future Borough President Eric Adams, has had with me and my father of blessed memory, whose yurtzeit is tonight. And on a wider scale, Senator Adams has been there for our entire community whenever he has been called upon. Senator, I and our entire community appreciate your selfless dedication to the service, and I share this award with you. Thank you so much.
I want to recognize our old friend, Rabbi Yaakov Klass from Congregation B'nai Matisyahu, and he's an editor-in-chief from the Jewish Press. To present our next award, please, and I just want to recognize everybody, please don't leave, because our old friend, Public Advocate Bill de Blasio is here. We're going to be hearing from him in a few minutes. To present our next award to Congressman Hakeem Jeffries, please welcome back to the stage Willie Radfogel, the Executive Director of Met Council on Jewish Poverty.
Thank you, Coleman. I'm honored to pinch hit in this case because the honoree of the National Leadership Award is a good friend, somebody I've known for a number of years since he kind of made a splash on the scene as a member of the Assembly and has continued to impress not just on a local level or on a citywide level, but he is now impressing people on a national level. His commitment to the community is one that knows no bounds. He's out there, whether it's in central Brooklyn or southern Brooklyn. I know in the aftermath of the storm, he and his office were able to be counted on by the residents of Seagate and Coney Island. Our own Met Council residence in Seagate, which was underwater for several days, has had all kinds of issues coming back. But Congressman Hakeem Jeffries has been there every step of the way, helping us to ensure that we could get back and get the 75 residents back into that building. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to be able to present the National Leadership Award on behalf of the JCC to Congressman Hakeem Jeffries.
Well, thank you, Willie, for that very generous introduction, for your leadership and your friendship over the years, to Shia Rubenstein, and to all of my distinguished colleagues in government who are here today, of course, my sister, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, and our county leader, all of the members of the City Council and the Assembly that I used to work with up in Albany, and to my distinguished honorees. I'll be very brief. It's an honor and a privilege to receive this award, to work with so many of you who are in the room on issues that are important to us. Tomorrow I'll be back down in Washington. In fact, I expect to see many of you. Will be attending the AIPAC Spring Conference, and I was asked to present at one of the luncheons that are going to be held tomorrow, and of course at the luncheon, I'll get an opportunity to share my views on the importance of the continuing friendship and relationship between the U.S. and Israel. And so my staff asked me whether I wanted to attend. I said, yeah, make sure you accept the invitation under one condition. We want to make sure that the luncheon is kosher, because you know how we do in Brooklyn. But of course I'll be there. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. We've got some work to do as it relates to Superstorm Sandy. And I was proud to stand with Yvette Clarke and so many others to pass a bill in the House of Representatives to make sure that houses of worship were eligible for Superstorm Sandy assistance. And we did it because we know, and I co-sponsored that, the devastation of the storm hit. It didn't pass by the shul. It didn't pass by the synagogue. It didn't pass by the church. It didn't pass by the cathedral or the mosque. It affected us just like it affected everyone else, and that's why we're going to fight hard, Yvette and I, to make sure that we rebuild every single house of worship that was hurt. God bless you. Look forward to working together.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium our own Councilman David Greenfield. And the reason I say our own is because we in the Orthodox community know that wherever we go, Councilman David Greenfield is our councilman, even if the border lines don't actually represent that. Please welcome Councilman David Greenfield.
Good morning. You know, I want to recognize all of you who are the hardy folks who have stuck around for the end of the program. So thank you very much for hanging out with us this morning. We're very grateful. I got to tell you that today, I don't know about you, but for me, today was one of those days when I woke up early this morning around 6:15. I didn't want to get out of bed. You know, I heard the news that happened last night, the tragedy in Williamsburg. Young couple, 21 years old, 9 months pregnant, with their first child on the way to the hospital. They were struck and they were killed in a hit-and-run accident, and their child survived. And so you have to ask yourself, I think, and I asked myself this morning, why do we even get out of bed? And I think that today's breakfast is why we get out of bed. Because in the end of the day, life is fleeting, and it's short. And it's what you do for others that really matters. And so the recognition today of all these wonderful people, and there's a lot of people who are being recognized, whether it's Rabbi Tzvi Tversky or Congressman Hakeem Jeffries or Captain John Rowell, Yoeli Eisdorfer, Rami Brown, Eli Slavin, Yehuda Schupper, Chaim Deutsch, Barry Spitzer, Jake Adler, Penny Ringel. They all deserve to be mentioned because the work that they do is what keeps us going. And I especially want to give a shout out to two of the hardest working city employees in the city of New York, two of my top aides, my Deputy Chief of Staff and my District Director, Jake Adler and Barry Spitzer, for the incredible work that they do. And let me tell you something. The work that they do is a perfect example. They're grossly underpaid and grossly overworked, but they do it for the love of the community. And that's what today is all about. And when you talk about that, that's actually a perfect segue and introduction to my next quick topic, which is the people who founded the JCC of Marine Park. I want to give an incredible shout out to Shia Rubenstein, who's an incredible community leader. I want to thank the tireless Pinchas Shine for the work that he's done. And I also want to thank Jeff Leb, the co-founder of the JCC of Marine Park, who's moved to great heights today as the political director for the Orthodox Union and the OU Teach NYS initiative. Congratulations, Jeff. And finally, what we're here today to discuss, and my privilege today to introduce someone. You know, when you talk about giving for the community, all of us in government, we get paid. In the case of Barry Spitzer and Jake Adler, for example, they don't get paid enough, but we certainly get paid. However, there's one person in this room who wakes up early, who goes to sleep late, who really kills himself on behalf of Brooklyn, and not just a segment of Brooklyn, you know, like a council member or a state senator, but literally on behalf of all of Brooklyn, and he doesn't make a nickel. In fact, it costs him quite a few dollars. There's a person here who all he cares about is uniting Brooklyn. We live in one of the most diverse boroughs in the United States of America. Every ethnicity, over 100 languages are spoken here in Brooklyn. It's a tough job, but there's one person, a leader, that has been working literally his whole life to bring people together. And today we're very fortunate that he is our Kings County Democratic Chairman. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege and honor to introduce to you a great individual, a great man, a great leader, and a personal friend, our county leader, Frank Sedio. And will Rabbi Zucker please join me for the presentation of the award? Rabbi Zucker?
Thank you. Over here?
David, thank you. I didn't even think you had a race this year, that you had to worry. I thought you got a free run. And I was so appreciative of your words, but I must tell you how appreciative I am of this award. I have been working with the Jews. I used to be the Shabbos Goy at 770 Eastern Parkway back in the 1970s when I was the police officer, community affairs officer that dealt with religious affairs. And my partner, who was also a cantor here in the actually over in Manhattan Beach Jewish Center, couldn't work, of course, on Fridays because it was Shabbos. So there I was, and we'd be there every Friday night. And I still have that dollar that the Rebbe gave me back then when I left office from the police department. I am truly and really appreciative of this. And I know you've heard many, many words, but I can't leave here without telling you a story that I know of. And some of you may have heard this last week, but it was too good to not repeat. And it's about this family who are making a shidduch for their daughter. And along comes the young man to meet the family, and he comes in and he sits down with the father, and he comes in and the father says, "So tell me, what do you do?" He says, "Well, I'm studying. I read the Torah. I'm hoping to be a rabbi someday." And the father says, "Oh, that's very, very good." He says, "Well, you want to marry my daughter. How do you plan to support her?" And he says, "I have complete faith. I know that God will be there for us. He will be helping us all the way." Talk a little bit more, and he says, "Well, what about children? How are you planning to have children?" And he said, "Well, we're hoping to have as many as possible." He said, "Well, how are you going to support them?" And he says, "Well, again, there's no doubt in my mind. I have complete faith, and I know that God will be there." And finally, after another few conversations, he says, "What what about a place to live? You're going to need some place to live. He says, oh, no doubt, God will help us and we'll be okay. A few more conversations, the young man leaves, and the father gets up and he walks out to the mother and the daughter who's all expectant. And the mother says, well, what do you think? He says, I can't be too mad at him. He thinks I'm God. Thank you all very much. I just must make one of the... I have met many people in government in my life. I've met people who are selfish and have some concerns. I've met people with an agenda. I've actually met, there's sometimes, every once in a while, you meet that good man, that one person who you have to stand back and admire, that one person who just does goodness, who has no malice, who has nothing in him but a good heart. And that's Shia Rubinstein. And I want to thank you, Shia, for inspiring me to do as much as I can.
Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman, Frank Sedio, is available for weddings and bar mitzvahs. Please see me to book him. And to round up this great program this morning, we want to thank everybody for keeping you here. Our next speaker's goal is to keep this breakfast from becoming a luncheon. Please welcome our own public advocate, Bill de Blasio.
I only have a 20-minute speech. Don't worry, it's going to be fine. I said to my wife, Charlene, who's with us this morning, I said, honey, you've been working so hard. I really should take you to a very elegant brunch. I said, choose any place you like, Brooklyn, Manhattan, whatever you like. She said, how about we go to JCC at Marine Park for brunch? So she had the right idea. To Shia Rubinstein for his tremendous leadership, David Hyman, David Newman, Sruli Ziskin, Yossi Sharf, thank you all for your tremendous leadership. Here's the thing I want to say. First of all, you chose great honorees. I could talk about Frank Sedio, I could talk about Hakeem Jeffries, any of the other great honorees. I got to say my personal favorite is Penny Ringle, okay? No offense to any of the others, because I had the wisdom to hire Penny Ringle, and I'm very proud of that fact. He's doing a tremendous job on behalf of the people in New York City. So I'm just going to say something simple. I said a few weeks ago a very radical idea. I gave a speech. I offered a very radical idea. I said all boroughs are created equal. And we know when you look around the city, when you look around the response to Sandy, when you look at how our small businesses are treated, we're far from the day where every part of the city is treated the same. I was out in the Rockaways for the parade yesterday. You can listen to people in the Rockaways, all the help they're still waiting for as a result of Sandy. I know for people all over southern Brooklyn, that's a reality as well. So as public advocate, I am committed to making sure the city of New York actually owns up to its responsibilities. There's still a lot of people hurting as a result of Sandy. We owe it to them to reach out deeper, to make sure they get the help they need, to be with them until the recovery is complete. That's what we should all be committed to. I think with that, I have succeeded in making sure this breakfast does not turn into a lunch. Thank you very, very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill de Blasio, also available for weddings and bar mitzvahs. And please welcome, he stayed here diligently to the end of the program, not because the food is great, but because he wanted to let us know about the great work that he's doing in the City Council. Our own Councilman, Jamani Williams.
Thank you, Carmen. Shalom alaikum, manishma. Is everyone enjoying the breakfast? I want to thank all my colleagues in government, of course, Shia Rubinstein and JCC of Marine Park. I'm very excited that should I be reelected, I'm going to have the JCC and where we are standing in my district. So this is my mashpucha, and I'm looking forward to working with them as much as we can to make sure the communities are bridged and everybody gets the services that they that they deserve, and that's my function. I just want to say thank you, congratulations to all the honorees, Rabbi Tversky, Vermi Brown, Eli Slavin, Yehuda Schupa, Barry Spitzer, Jake Adler, Penny Ringle, Chaim Deutsch, who helped start a community observation patrol. We learned from what he was doing in Community Board 17. Of course, Yoli, who's been doing great work, and of course, our county leader, who's a friend of mine from way back. I come from the TJ Club, Frank Serio, and a special thank you to Captain Rao, who's one of the great captains who represent my district. We always have to remember to honor those who are risking their life every day to make sure we're safe, and Captain Rao is doing a fantastic job. So thank you so much for all the great work that's being done, and I will keep it short. All right, have a good one. Thank you. Oh, I want to make sure I give a shout out to my staff, Stephen Ringel. Wave, Stephen.
All right, we only have about 20 more speeches, so please don't go anywhere. No, I'm kidding. Just stick around for dessert. It's on the way. If it doesn't come out, just grab the nearest waiter and just like make him sit down next to you until the dessert shows up. Thank you very much for joining us today. We'll see you next year.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Congresswoman Yvette Clarke of the 9th Congressional District of Brooklyn, here at the 3rd annual legislative breakfast of the JCC of Marine Park. We've just had a wonderful event honoring some of the great luminaries that are the power behind the power. These are individuals who are working with our elected officials and our communities to make sure that all of the issues and concerns of those who reside within our community, within Marine Park, are having their voices heard, their concerns addressed, and that we further the mission of the JCC of Marine Park. So it's been my honor and my privilege. I'm relatively new to these parts of Brooklyn, but look forward to a strong partnership with the JCC of Marine Park. Take good care now. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm New York City Public Advocate Bill de Blasio, and I'm so happy to be here at the JCC of Marine Park breakfast. Everyone's here. Everyone, leaders from all over the city, leaders from all over Brooklyn, because the JCC matters, because it serves people in this community. It's indispensable, and people want to honor the extraordinary work of the JCC. I'm here because I believe in the JCC of Marine Park. And as I said today, I want to see a city where every neighborhood is treated with respect. The City Hall is responsible to every neighborhood. JCC makes sure that the people of Marine Park and surrounding areas get the services they deserve, and that's why I'm here to support them.
Hello, JCC, and to my best and wonderful friend, Shia Rubenstein. What more can you say than when you talk about a mensch, you talk about a group that does good work, what could be better for the people of Brooklyn and for the people of Marine Park especially? Shia, I want you to know that I will always be there for you, whether it be next week at the Father and Son event or any other time. There'll be a need for help in Marine Park and with the Jewish Community Council. I'll be there for you. Love you all, and hope to see you only for good things. It should be our mazel that every time we see each other, we're able to kiss and smile.
Shalom Aleichem. Very much a pleasure to be here. JCC of Marine Park does such fantastic work. Anything I can do to continue to support JCC and Shea Rubenstein is what I want to do. Starting next year, I'm going to have this area in my district. Very, very proud of that. So we can continue to do great work. Congratulations, Shea. Congratulations, JCC. This is my mashpucha. See you later.
Good morning. I'm here with one of the honorees, Joel Eisendorfer, Yoli, affectionately called. Just really to show our support. People don't often realize that we as electeds must have strong staff that understands the communities that we represent and allows us to do the great things we do. They often look at the faces in front of the camera. They look at the individuals who hold the titles. But the reality is, it's people like Yoli, it's people like Joel who has been there and made sure this community of Borough Park and the entire Jewish community in Brooklyn receive the services that they deserve. And so we want to say congratulations to you, Joel. Thank you for the years of service to my office and to the Borough Park community. We really appreciate you.
I feel like a news reporter here. It's great to be here at the JCC Legislative Breakfast. Those of us who are here at the first love to see the growth of this organization and this community, and I'm very proud to be here to celebrate it with Shia and the entire Marine Park mishpucha.
It's always a pleasure to come and visit with the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park. The incredible social service work that they do is something I applaud and support, and I've been very happy to work with them over the last couple of years. And of course, I wouldn't miss this event to honor the folks that they honor. So it's good to be with you.
Hi, my name's Avrami Brown. I'm an honoree today. at the JCC Legislative Breakfast. I'd like to thank Shia Rubinstein and the JCC for all the wonderful work they do for the community, and I wish them all the best, and they should continue to be able to do the work in the future.
Good morning. I want to thank the Jewish Community Council of Marine Park for this special honor today, and I'm blessed to be here, so thank you very much.
It's a wonderful organization. Shia has done a remarkable job bringing everybody together, which is important, to bring services to the community and to represent the community. So I know, having the experience doing this many years ago, bringing communities together, Shia, kol hakavod for all the work you do, and everybody else on the board and all the community people who are involved in this.
Good morning. This is Assistant Chief Thomas Chan, Commanding Officer of Brooklyn South. I'm very happy to join us here today in the Marine Park, the annual legislative breakfast here. We have our elected officials, our community members, and I'm very honored here to be able to be part of this celebration and also breakfast. And also we're honoring today our Captain John Rao from the 63rd Precinct. We're very proud of him and the work that he's done here in the 63rd Precinct in the short time he's been here. So again, my congratulations to the community, all the elected officials, and the COJO here for the great job they've done in Brooklyn South here. And you have my support, and I look forward to working with all of you. Thank you very much.
This is Rabbi Braun. I work for State Senator Marty Golden. I'm here to congratulate the JCC of Marine Park. They're doing fantastic work. I also congratulate all the honorees being recognized this morning for well-deserved honor. Keep up the good work, and all the best.
Well, good morning. This is Assemblyman Alan Maisel, and I'm very pleased to be here at the JCC's third legislative breakfast. It's always a pleasure to be here because I have an opportunity to see my friends in the Marine Park community who work very, very hard for the Jewish community and the community at large. And this has become a very significant event. People from all over are coming here, so it's great news for Marine Park. We're on the map. Thank you.
I want to congratulate my friend Shia Rubinstein, doing a great job. Keep it up, and keep doing good things for Klal Yisrael.
I'd like to echo that. I remember when Shia just started the JCC of Marine Park, no one thought it would get off the ground, and now we got well over 200 people here today.
Well, we are very pleased to be here today. We have a great group of people here from Investors Bank. It's a wonderful organization, and we're glad to be a part of it. Thank you so much.